In a world obsessed with appearances, where beauty was measured in filters, makeup kits, designer brands, and glamorous lifestyles displayed on screens, there lived a young woman named Amina who did not care for any of it. She woke up each morning to the sunlight that peeked through the cracked window of her small old house. Her clothes were simple, sometimes old, sometimes patched, but always clean, always neat. Her father was ill, bedridden for months, and her mother had passed away years ago, leaving her as the heart of the home, the one who held everything together. Amina worked at a small flower stall near the marketplace, her fingers always smelling like jasmine, rose, and gardenia. People came not because the flowers were extraordinary, but because she greeted every customer with warmth that felt like morning. Sunlight, soft, gentle, comforting. Her smile wasn't decorated, her hair wasn't styled, her face wasn't powdered, yet she had a beauty that could quiet storms. Meanwhile, on the other side of the same city, lived a man named Yusuf, a young businessman who had everything one could dream of: cars that sparkled like polished steel, suits that made him look like he walked out of a movie scene, and a social circle filled with people who praised every step he took, not because they cared, but because his success reflected on them. Yet in the midst of all the noise, all the lights, all the luxury, Yusuf felt empty. He had dated women who sparkled like diamonds, women who posed like supermodels, women who could charm a room with a single glance, and yet none of them reached his heart. He felt like he was living in a world made of glass. Everything looked perfect from the outside, but hollow within. His mother, who had watched him drift from one shallow relationship to another, told him gently one day, "Son, real love doesn't need glitter. Sometimes the most precious hearts are wrapped in simplicity." He didn't fully understand her, but he carried the words inside, like seeds waiting for the right soil. One day, while visiting the marketplace to purchase flowers for an event, his car stopped near Amina's small stall. He stepped out, irritated, frustrated by business calls, deadlines, and the usual chaos that seemed to grip him every morning. As he approached the stall, Amina looked up, her eyes soft, steady, unbothered by his expensive watch or imposing presence. She greeted him with a small smile, one that didn't try to impress, didn't try to flatter, just a genuine moment of kindness. "Welcome. How may I help you?" she asked. Her voice was gentle, pure, like the sound of distant wind chimes. Yusuf paused. For the first time in a long time, someone had spoken to him like he was a human being, not a bank account, not a business opportunity, not a shiny surface. He asked for white lilies, and as she wrapped them, he noticed her hands, not manicured, not polished, but hard-working hands that had lived, cared, and given. She placed the bouquet in his hands and said, "May they bring peace to whoever you are giving them to." He stopped again. How did she know peace was what he had been searching for? He thanked her and left, but something in him stayed behind. For days he found himself thinking of her, not her looks, but her presence, her calmness, her warmth that wrapped around him like a quiet embrace. Days passed. He returned, not once, not twice, but every day, each time finding himself drawn deeper into the simplicity of her world, a world where happiness came from small joys, where love was shown through actions, not grand displays. They talked, first about flowers, then about life, then about dreams. Amina spoke of wanting to build a small garden behind her house, a place where children from the neighborhood could come, learn, plant, and grow. Yusuf spoke of wanting something real, something that didn't fade when the lights were turned off. Slowly, gently, their hearts began to change shape around each other. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the sky and the air glowed orange and gold, Yusuf found himself standing beside her stall, yet unable to speak what his heart felt. He was afraid, not of rejection, but of being unworthy of someone so pure. She noticed his silence and asked softly, "Is something troubling you?" He looked into her eyes, eyes with no mascara, no glitter, yet they held galaxies. "I feel like I've been searching for something all my life," he said. "And I think I found it here." Amina's breath caught, not out of flattery, but out of truth. For she too had been lonely, not in the way of being alone, but in the way that comes from the world not seeing you clearly. That evening they spoke not like strangers, not like acquaintances, but like souls finding home. And though nothing was confessed outright, they both left with hearts that beat a little faster, hearts that recognized one another. But life is not a story that moves without test, without challenge. Tomorrow would bring storms neither of them expected, and love, real love, would have to prove itself, not in beauty, not in wealth, but in the depth of the heart itself. The next morning, the marketplace was unusually loud. Whispers traveled through the air faster than footsteps. Rumors sparked like sparks in the wind, dangerous, wild, and eager to burn. Someone had seen Yusuf standing with Amina the previous evening. Someone had taken a picture. Someone had posted it online. Soon the comments came, cruel ones. Why would a man like him talk to someone like her? She probably trapped him. Look at her, no makeup, no style, nothing. Gold digger. The words were daggers, sharp enough to pierce anyone's heart. But Amina had always learned to hold her emotions quietly. She stood at her stall arranging flowers, her hands steady, but her eyes dimmer, her breath tighter. When Yusuf arrived that day, he saw it in a second, the change, the hurt. And when he saw the photos and inside him, not anger for himself, but anger that someone so pure could be wounded by those who knew nothing about her soul. He walked closer, but Amina raised her hand gently. Yusuf, maybe we should keep some distance. Your world and mine, they are too different. And I don't want to be the reason people laugh at you. Her voice trembled, not from fear of losing him, but from love deep enough to step back for his sake. But Yusuf shook his head. No, I've lived in that world all my life. A world where everyone wears masks, where love is just performance, where no one is real. I don't want that life anymore. I don't want anyone else. I want you. Tears gathered in her eyes, but she did not let them fall. She whispered, But why? I don't have anything to offer. He stepped closer. You have the one thing I've searched for in every face, every place, every life I crossed. You have a heart that loves without pretending. Before their words could settle, a black luxury car pulled up. His mother stepped out. The marketplace froze. She walked toward them, not slowly, not angrily, but with calm eyes that had seen much more than people assumed. Everyone watched, waiting for drama, waiting for rejection. But instead, the mother smiled, soft, warm, kind. She touched Amina's cheek gently and said, I've heard what people are saying, but I came to see for myself. Amina bowed her head, unsure, embarrassed, overwhelmed. The mother lifted her chin and saw everything, the strength, the kindness, the softness, the love. She turned to her son and said, If this is the woman you choose, then you have chosen well. Gasps spread through the marketplace like wind. Kindness had spoken, and kindness has power. With a voice steady and proud, his mother faced the watching crowd and said, Makeup can fade, dresses can tear, beauty can age, but a good heart only grows more beautiful with time. The whispers stopped. The gossip halted, and that day something shifted. Not just for Amina and Yusuf, but for everyone who watched love choose simplicity over spectacle. Within weeks, a small, intimate wedding took place. No glitter, no expensive venues, no dramatic speeches, just flowers from Amina's stall, gentle music, and promises spoken from the heart. Yusuf placed a ring on her finger, not shiny, not extravagant, but meaningful. I don't promise a life without hardship, he said, but I promise a life where you never walk it alone. Amina smiled with tears in her eyes. And I promise to love you, not for what you have, but for who you are. Their love didn't become a trend. It didn't go viral. It didn't flood screens. But it became something much more precious, real, lasting, rooted. They opened the small garden Amina once dreamed of. Children came, flowers grew, and their home became a place where love didn't need decoration.